I use trends and numbers. They're a big thing when it comes to broadcasting and painting the picture. For me, I lean more on individual numbers and trends than I do on the team trends, because an individual player might have a good advantage against a particular team. He might have a matchup that favors him, and so for me, trying to let the audience know player A averages almost 22 points per game against this particular team. And so when you do the introductions, you might say, here are his averages. He averages 17.5 on the year, but in his career, he's averaging over 20 points against this team. Gives you an idea that he might be a guy that can have a big game and step out. And, excuse me, I will, what I'll do is look at a player's numbers the previous game against a team and his career against that team. For instance, Alex Young had some big numbers in his career against Western Illinois. I can tell you he averaged 18.1 points per game or whatever against Western. But I would also, in parentheses on my score sheet, say he's had 20 or more points in a game 3 times against Western. So if he gets to that point again, Alex Young hits the bucket, he now has 21. That's the 4th time in his career. I think it helps the listener, gives them an idea of maybe how an individual does against a particular team. And from team trends, you know, it's always important to get an idea on how a team is rebounding, how they are shooting it at halftime. You know, with the numbers here, with the work that's been done, you see that IUPUI has a really good record when they hit 28 or more buckets. Well, at halftime, let's say they have 16 or 17 buckets. You can tell the listener, you know, they're closing in. When they get to a certain amount at 28 and they already have 17, good things can happen. Let's see if the Jaguars can keep this up in the second half. Trends are critical because it lets you take the audience, take the listener in a certain direction, whether it's positive or negative, and you have those numbers there, and maybe as they go to commercial, they think, well, they really need to do this better, they need to do this better, or expect something more in the second half from this particular player because in his career, he's always had really good games. He struggled in the first half. I wouldn't expect that to happen in the second half.